Hey folks, I think I've changed my mind on the SIG 320 thing. Not really in the way you're going to think. Um, I'm going to go through kind of the latest on that, and we can talk about it, and then we'll see what else pops off. Okay. All right. The story was going around about a week ago at a USPSA match, Area 3, that a P320, you know the one, was I'll read the story. Shooter made ready, holstered, hands off the gun. So loads gun, holsters it, no longer touching gun discharged, and put a round in the ground between the shooter and the RO. That was floating around. Um, Now this is it's kind of coming from a lot of people, and I know a few people at the match, so it seemed like okay, some version of this happened probably. And yeah, I've had actually a chat with the shooter in question who was actually DQ'd from the match. Nice conversation, that whole thing, and got well, it was a female shooter, got her side of the story, and her husband was involved, and he was there anyway, and he kind of talked about it, gave me some information because I know people were curious. Okay, first. The story I'm getting from this couple is that the initial thing put out, like, hey, guns loaded, puts it in there, boom, it goes off. That's what they're saying happened. And plenty of other people close to the situation have said that's what happened. I think quite a few people saw that and are saying that's what happened. So again, gun loaded, put in there, pop, it goes off. She wasn't hurt, by the way, which is good. But that's what they're saying. Okay, so I had a bunch of questions about this. So I asked about the gun. Let me tell you what they're saying the gun is. It's DH3, so the Dan Horner version. They have an AXG frame on it. It has brass grips. I don't know if there's other modifications. Forget. But I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like anything real crazy is done to the gun. It's been shot, they believe, 15 to 20,000 rounds from when it was new 2 years ago. They're the original owners. Um, let's see what else about the gun. They possess the gun is at a gunsmith who's looking at it to try to reproduce whatever the issue was. Um, he doesn't understand. He can't, doesn't know. Like that's, not a new thing for people to say. But yeah, the gunsmith that's looking at it can't figure out what's going on. They have not yet really talked to anybody at SIG, but they say they've made efforts to reach out but can't get in touch with anybody, which sounds real weird, to be honest. Um, let's see. And I think that's the details. Yeah, so gun, yeah. Okay. So that's where it's at. That's the round count on the gun. Guns located. It's in their possession still, sort of. It's like I said, it's at their gunsmith now, but I think they'll get it back. Um, can't reproduce whatever it is happened. And oh, sorry, one other thing about the holster. It was not a light bearing holster. I believe it's a Weber tactical holster. So the gun doesn't have a flashlight on it, and it's not in a light bearing holster. So why do I say I think I've changed my mind? Well, actually, it was a good conversation with the male half of the couple. Um, he's like, "Yeah, I follow your shit on YouTube. I shoot a SIG. I didn't really. I'm kind of like, hey, there's a lot of variables here. I don't really know what's going on. I've shot. I think he shot a lot of rounds through SIGs. Like, I don't know, 70, 80,000 rounds through one of his 320s. He told me something like that. He's like, hey, I've shot all these rounds. I've never had a problem. He's kind of one of those guys. He's like, yeah, I see what you're talking about. I'm just not sold on it that it's really a problem. I haven't had any problems. I've shot the guns a lot. That was his attitude. After this incident, he's a hey, I'm president of a gun club. I'm banning these things on Tuesday. And that was interesting. That kind of got me thinking about, you know, my position on it. And I've talked about this stuff a lot. I do believe there's some kind of a problem. Super low frequency, but there's some kind of a problem. And I haven't banned those things from my classes. But I mean, after this conversation with this couple, I think I almost have to. Like, it's not official right now, guys. Don't freak out. But we're gonna have to talk to the guys about this because it's I don't know. It's a very interesting situation. Now, there's one other little thing about this. They possess the gun. I told them I would not send that thing back to SIG. Do anything but that. Um, if the gun finds its way into the hands of somebody who's competent and capable of looking at it and trying to understand what happened, and again, this would not be me. This would be somebody who knows what they're doing. Um, if the gun finds its way into that type of person's hands, I think they would facilitate that somehow. I don't think they plan on shooting it anymore. Yeah, so there it is. That is what's going on with the Area 3 SIGincident from last week. At least that's the information I'm getting, and I mean, it sounds pretty credible. Anyway, that's it.